Nom 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 nom.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal the MooCow, and I'm here to give you my review of VedEat. I just went there for breakfast slash lunch, and I have to say I had a pretty darn good time. VedEat is a sort of Eastern Asian slash Indian breakfast slash lunch place that is located in the city center, Newport News. Um, these are folks that used to be affiliated with Ago, my personal favorite restaurant on the peninsula at the moment. And so they're sort of bringing a lot of that Far Eastern flavor and spices and etc. dishes to that part of Newport News and to your breakfast table if you're adventurous enough to do so. So, um, everybody has different food traditions all over the world. I usually do things like, cereal and pancakes and stuff like that. So I'm not particularly adventurous when it comes to breakfast, but you don't necessarily have to be. So in this particular occasion, I went there and I tried two breakfast items just because I figured I'd have my lunch and my breakfast. Um, so the first thing I tried was sort of your standard, everyday breakfast kind of sandwich. So it was a English muffin with scrambled eggs and some sausage and excuse me, some uh, pepper jack cheese. Now that's the kind of thing that you normally could get in about just about any kind of breakfast place, but it was pretty darn good. There was a nice smoky quality to the sausage and the eggs. While I was expecting them to be really scrambled, it was more like an omelet. So that was kind of nice. And then, of course, pepper jack cheese is always a good choice. So that was good, and it comes with a sort of house chutney that they put on the side. Now, this is where it gets more exotic because the chutney is kind of a onion, garlicky kind of mishmash with some ginger, and there's definitely some what I would call Thai chili oil in there as well. Um, Pretty hot and sour. So if you like hot sour stuff, this is definitely for you. Now, it's generally not the kind of flavor that I want in the morning. However, I did try it. It's good. It's intense. So I found that just a little dab will do me because otherwise it just overpowers the flavors of the breakfast sandwich itself. Still, it's pretty good. And if you want to make your breakfast a little bit more exotic, definitely go for the chutney. Um, I found it was a bit much, but it's fresh made, and if you want to definitely make your breakfast a little bit more exotic, that's the way to do it. So check that out. The other thing I tried was the gypsy stuffed brioche. So it's kind of like a stuffed French toast, except they're using brioche bread, covered with mascarpone cheese, and then you can get different fruits, fillings, and toppings as well. And I went with the mango, and then they throw on a few toasted shredded coconut bits there. I find the coconut to be a little superfluous. I didn't really need it. But as far as the mascarpone cheese and the mango goes, oh yeah, that was really good. And then they give you like this little thing of syrup that you kind of pour in on the side. I thought it was okay. I didn't really need it. I thought the brioche was sweet enough. The mascarpone cheese was very tasty. The mango is stuffed inside the brioche as well as on top. Um, so it was pretty darn tasty. And to go with all of that, I had your traditional Indian style chai. They call it a chaya. So it's got the cinnamon and the cardamom and all that. And it was very, very good. And then they bring out this nice carafe of water in there, and it's usually like lemon or some other kind of citrus in there to sort of give it a little more flavor. So it was very, very nice. Um, you know, Overall, I would say it wasn't a particularly adventurous breakfast on my part. I got their menu pulled up here now, and you can get all things like they have this chalamari, which are these rice flour pancakes with ground chicken and onions and eggs and cilantro. You could try that. They have different melts there that you can do. There's an Indian one, there's a veggie one, there are meat lovers ones. They have these oatmeal pancakes there. Um, but you know, as far as the breakfast goes, I tend to be a little bit more conservative. They also do lunch. Oh yeah, and some of the other traditional, I guess, more Eastern breakfast things they have there is dahlia, which is a cracked wheat porridge with ghee, and then you can put in coconut milk or whole milk with craisins and nuts. Gotta like that. Soup, if you want soup for breakfast, they have this thing called chicken guao soup. It's a chicken's broth soup with some kind of Asian spice called Jwano, Jwano. I don't know what that is. Never had it. It's supposed to be a good cure if you've got a cold. I'll take their word for it. I don't know if that's the sort of thing I definitely want to have in the morning unless I am recovering from too much booze the night before. They have something called kichari, which is a rice and lentil stew made in ghee, which is clarified butter. And they have something called kwati, which is a Nepalese style bean soup. It's also vegetarian. That's breakfast. And then for lunch, they have stuff like they have beet sliders. I have never heard anything like that before. So I guess you've got beaten potatoes served and with some kind of I guess it's the house chutney on slider buns. They have quesadillas and chicken tenders, chicken and rice, which is kind of a Nepalese flavored kind of stuff that's put all over the chicken and rice. Potatoes and rice rather, same thing, another kind of spicy sauce that's put on there. They have something called not your typical fish and chips. So it's catfish fried in Nepalese spices and served with chip potatoes. They have a noodle burrito, which sounds interesting. They have spiced shrimp. They have salads. They have different sides, different kinds of drinks. They have something called a golden milkshake, which is mango, turmeric, and whole milk with cream. That sounds good. I may have to try that one. And then finally, as if all that wasn't enough, they also bake all their own pastries and cookies and things on site. So for those of you who've got a sweet tooth, if you decide you want to get like some madeleines or some chocolate chip cookies, and who doesn't want that, you can get that on the way out too. As far as the restaurant itself goes, it's where the old Lunch Bell used to be, for those of you who are familiar with that section of Newport News and City Center. I mean, the Lunch Bell was kind of a nice long-time staple. It's good to see something there. But of course, the problem is parking, which is always problematic in that particular section of the town. So I happened to get there at a time when there wasn't too bad for parking, so I was okay, but other people might have problems. But a good restaurant is worth seeking out. So even if there are parking issues, I definitely recommend going to check it out. So having both of those entrees and with the chai ended up running me $24 with tip. So yeah, it's not the cheapest breakfast / lunch out there, that's for sure, but I'd say it's one of the better, and especially if you're someone like myself and you would rather support sort of ma and pa independent restaurants and businesses, and just get rid of the big box places and the corporate restaurants. I don't need to have that. I mean, every now and again it's okay, but I'd rather support the little guys and the local guys. And the fact that these guys used to be part of Ago, which is still my favorite restaurant in the area, makes me want to support these guys as well. So definitely go and check it out. It's worth seeking out if you have the opportunity. It's called VedEats, and it's in the city center part of Newport News, so definitely check it out. So hopefully I'm going to do a bit more of these food and restaurant reviews for my YouTube channel while I'm doing all my podcasts and all my other stuff with Sick Flick Productions, because God knows I can never shut my yap. So check out my YouTube channel, see what else I'm talking about. I think I'm gonna probably try that new thing that's coming from Pizza Hut, where they're making a Cheez-It pizza. I mean, who could resist that, you know? But I'm going to be trying some other restaurants too and talking about some other restaurants that I've been to. So stay tuned for more. In any event, this is the MooCow signing off, and I'll talk to you later.